Let's see. What's poppin', YouTube family? I hope all is well. Hi everyone. Good to see you all. Let me know. Are you sure you all should be able to hear me? Good on audio, right, sister? All right, let me go live on IG. Bring in the IG fam. And we'll stream on both platforms. What's up, IG? I hope all is well. Hope you all had a good week last week. Hey, we in the building. Let's get it. Let's get it, y'all. This live is titled Blessings. I prayed to God, asked him what he wanted me to talk about, and that's exactly what he said. Talk about blessings. Oh, did I mistype it? Yep. To everyone rolling in, y'all go ahead, get settled. We're going for 30 minutes a day, like always. If you're new to this, well, first let me pray before we jump into it. Let's say a quick word of prayer. God, thank you for your covering, your protection, your favor. I pray that you protect everyone from COVID-19, from seen and unseen danger, that you also allow us to have a good week this week, that you bless us in ways that we don't anticipate, and that you get the glory out of everything. I pray you protect all teachers, all administrators, all students, everyone who's preparing to go back to school this fall, and that they are safe and they have a prosperous school year. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, y'all. So blessings. I had to look up what's going on, Malachi. I hope all is well. Good to see you. To everyone in the building who's watching, good to see you too. God told me to get on here and talk about this. I had to look up the definition of blessings because it's often talked about, but it's not really defined. And blessings are simply defined as God's favor and protection. Okay, so we're going to tie this into scholarships as always. If you're new to this and what's happening, it is Doe for Degrees Community Scholarship Chat. We do it every single Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer any questions you have about scholarships, to give you some advice. Most recently, when I've been going live, I've been talking about how to handle COVID-19 because I think right now everyone is taking a look at their humanity and they're examining it and trying to figure out how to navigate through ambiguity and uncertainty. And so I pivoted from a focus on scholarships to help people deal with life, honestly. That's one of the big things. I talked about peace. I've talked about clarity. I've talked about pivoting or change. Today, we're talking about blessings. I've talked about a lot of things, but I've woven scholarships into the conversation. They just haven't been at the forefront. Because one thing I've realized is a lot of students in the midst of a crisis, a pandemic, this is something they never had to deal with. And so to shove more scholarship information down your throat may not be the best move if it's not meeting your immediate need, which is to understand how to deal with your emotions and how to process and how to make effective and efficient decisions. Because I think one thing COVID-19 has done, and it will do if you will allow it to, is to help you grow up and mature faster. That's one of the first things it will do for you. And so what I will say is when difficult things arise, and I've said this before, difficult things, especially for business owners, for people who are problem solvers, when you see a challenge or a problem or you encounter an inconvenience, your natural reaction is to look at it as an opportunity. You don't see everything that comes your way as something pessimistic. Of course, you may have a realistic moment and look at things as they are and say, oh, that's not good. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know if I can handle this. Looking at things and evaluating them is not a sign of doubt. It's realistic. That's what you're supposed to do. Weigh the cost, look at the options. But you, at the end of the day, your mind should change. You should switch your perspective to see things as an opportunity. One, I talked about this when I was talking about change. I think it was last week, and in my video, whenever it was, I talked about saying that change gives you an opportunity to grow. Because if nothing happens, if nothing different happens, that means things are stagnant or they're remaining the same. But when change occurs, it's an opportunity for growth and maturity. The same thing when you see a problem in your life, when you're having a scholarship problem with your family, school, whatever, it's an opportunity for you to learn something new, to take that knowledge and help it mature you and grow you. And then also to bear good fruit, to do good things out of those challenges that arise. And so blessings are simply God's favor and protection. Now, I think whether you're spiritual or not, you probably, when someone says, oh, you blessed, or, oh, yeah, I got a blessing for you, whatever, you have a good reaction. You have a good response. You're excited about it. You're happy about it. It's something that has a positive connotation to it. Everything that doesn't look good doesn't mean it's not good. Like something that doesn't look good on the surface. Let's look at COVID-19, for example. COVID, y'all forgive me, that's my air. COVID doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on the surface. It doesn't feel good. It's not really good for a lot of, it hasn't really been good for a lot of people immediately. But the underlying factors of COVID is probably good for everyone. Everyone may have needed rest. Everyone probably needed to spend more time with their family. Some people may not have known what their children enjoyed. Some people may not, oh, y'all forgive me, Aji. Some people may not have known what their child wanted to study, or if their child was having a problem. Some adults may have just been running through a routine and not taking the time to see how they were a different person, how they had grown and matured. And so though COVID on the surface was troubling, though COVID on the surface wrecked everyone's schedule and New Year's resolutions and all these different things for 2020, new decade, new me, whatever you were saying, though on the surface it disturbed your plans, underneath, there were probably a lot of blessings. And if you don't take the time to look at those and count the things, the good things that have come out of the bad things, you'll always see things with a pessimistic perspective. So let me tie this to scholarships. Let me give y'all a candid example of what my scholarship process looked like and how my scholarship process looked bad on the surface, but underneath it was full of a lot of blessings. Okay, so if you are a student and you've been going to school your entire life, everyone in your community tells you, keep your grades up, stay out of trouble, do well in school, you're going to go to college. That is the narrative that portrayed and perpetuated at home, in the community, at school. Like, good students get good grades, they behave well, and they go to school and they succeed. That's what it said. Point blank, period. If you disagree, let me know in the chat. But you're taught that. And then no one really talks about it, has a conversation about the cost of college, as often as they tell people to go to college. But the thing about it is, if you don't look at what it costs for you to succeed, if you don't look at what it actually requires of you, you will sometimes mismanage the opportunity. You'll miss an opportunity to learn new things and to check some boxes that you probably should have checked. And so when everyone's talking about college, especially in a traditional setting around the dinner table or in school or whatever, most people aren't telling you, yeah, go to college, but also you should know it's probably going to cost you $100,000. No, they say go to college and further your education so you can get a degree and get a good job. That's what they say. But they don't say that the cost of you going to college is going to require you. What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining. It's going to require you possibly to take out some student loans that will force you to work longer over the span of your lifetime than you anticipated to pay back those loans so that you can have some type of freedom after the age of 65. That's not the conversation oftentimes. And so if you don't take the time to examine the cost or to look at things from all angles, then you'll mismanage the opportunity. And so, for instance, from my experience, on the surface, my parents sitting down with me my senior year of high school and telling me they couldn't afford to send me to college was bad. I was upset. I was mad. I was frustrated because my thing was, why couldn't we have had this conversation sooner? Why now? Why wait until now? So if you allow yourself to continue to, sit or soak in the problem and don't move your mind and your body toward the solution, you're wasting time. And it's harming you more than you probably know. Because if you sit and focus on the problem, you'll be stuck there. You'll get stuck at the problem. Oh, my car broke down. Well, baby, you need your car to get to work. You just can't keep complaining that your car broke down. Oh, I didn't get accepted to NYU. Well, okay, you're just going to keep complaining about the fact that you didn't get accepted to NYU when there are so many other schools out here that you could go to. Don't just focus on the problem. Eventually move yourself swiftly to the solution. CCP Tech, what's up, Tajir? He said, how much should I invest in my 401k, or should I focus more on personal investments? That's a good question. That's a really good question. You want to answer that, sister? You want to come over here? All right, cousin. My sister's going to answer that. Her name is Andrea. She's going to let you know. I have an answer, but I'm going to let her go first.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hi. So with in regards to investing in your 401k or in your personal investments, I would split the difference. So if you are, I would not leave free money on the table. So, and forgive the glare on my glasses, because, I'm older and I need glasses. Shut up. So I would split the difference. If your company is going to match you 6%, max out that 6%. Make sure that you're getting all that they're giving you, and then on top of that, um, make sure you're getting that 6%. But then take the rest of that money and do what you need to do to invest whatever you need to invest. Hopefully that made sense. So for me, for instance, I work with my company. I match out whatever I can as far as that 6%. They're going to match me 6%, maximize to that 6%. But then beyond that, I'm not going to go beyond that because there's other things that I want to invest in. So hopefully that makes sense. Please let me know. Give me feedback if that makes sense. So I'm going to give you back to Danielle. Danielle, you want to come back over and stop being nosy on my computer?
That's not cool. I was looking at the screen. Looking at the car. Yeah, don't pay her nobody. She's trying to get at me, y'all. I'm trying to put me on blast on national TV. This ain't even national TV. Trying to put me on blast. Nah, I hope that helped, Taji. I hope that. I personally, I'm gonna give you my perspective. We have two different occupations. We do, but we're both entrepreneurs. But my sister, she has a job as well. So I don't have a 401k. As an entrepreneur, I don't have a 401k. My mindset is I invest every dime back into my business and back into myself. I don't have any intention of getting a 401k anytime soon. That's subject to change. I don't really know. I'm just whatever God tells me to do. Y'all know by now.
You will not.
Okay, my sister said I will not. All right. Point blank period. So I probably won't. But what I will say and this is probably good for college students who don't have a 401k. Knowledge, everyone hears this quote, knowledge is power, but what's often not discussed is wisdom. And wisdom is simply applied knowledge. Wisdom is you knowing something and taking and making a intentional decision to do what's best, what's going to produce the best outcome. Now, when I say wisdom is applied knowledge, that doesn't mean that you have to have the experience to gain the knowledge, to therefore obtain the wisdom. No. I'm going to give you an example. Books. You can read a book about how to better manage your finances. I read Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover, and did the workbook. I read that book like 3 times by now because he has knowledge. He has applied knowledge. He has wisdom on how to get out of debt and the 7-step snowball process and all these different things. So that knowledge helped me obtain wisdom by reading through his experience. So therefore I can make better decisions. So knowledge is powerful. Yes, get knowledge. That's why I say as an entrepreneur, I don't have a 401k, but one thing I do seek after constantly is knowledge. And one thing we do through Dough for Degrees, and by the way, this is a legal statement. Just because we gave you advice about getting a 401k or investing, you cannot hold us responsible. You can't sue Dough for Degrees. Don't sue Dough for Degrees. We are just here to help. You make your own decisions. We are not legally responsible for the effect or the effects of your decision, the results of your decision. Okay. Anyway, back to the program. Yes, back to the program. Yeah. But you should always be obtaining knowledge. Now, I don't have a 401k, but one thing I do need to know is I need to know how to make better decisions in business. And so I take the time to invest in books. I watch YouTube videos. I watch online seminars. I have conversations with entrepreneurs. I have mentors. I have mentees. I'm learning from my mentees as well as my mentors. I surround myself with people who are constantly in a constant pursuit of investing and growing. So therefore I can too. And that time spent is in a way equivalent to a 401k because 401k is, forgive me, am I wrong? Compound interest. You get compound.
Yeah, over time, it's compound interest. And also, it's investment from the money that you, it's kind of like a savings account. So the money that you make over time, you invest like 10%. It's like almost like tithes. So 10%, you put in 10% every time you get paid.
Right.
And then your company will invest 10, 6, whatever percentage.
Right.
They'll, do that. But over time, if you got, say you work for a certain company, they have stock in that company. That stock does well. Hey, it's part for everybody because now,
Facts.
Hey, we got some stock over here and stock just went up.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Now I got me, money in the bank. So that's kind of how it works.
Good stuff, because I didn't know how 401k works. So I learned
Yes.
something new today too. The same principle applies to knowledge. If you're a college student or entrepreneur, what have you, you get compound and these Kendall said
Yes,
it also gets taxed. Yes, it does.
It does.
That's a good point. Same thing with knowledge. If you're a college student, you don't have a 401k. If you're an entrepreneur, what have you, you have compound interest. Somebody can match your effort. So let's say, for instance, you obtain knowledge from a book and you take it, obtain wisdom from a book as well as knowledge, and you take it and you have your own experience and you discuss it with someone else who had an experience. Now you all are adding and learning from each other because you had your same experiences. So you can take and add to your own life and your own decisions as you see fit. So what I'm saying is an investment in yourself is the best investment you'll ever make. All right. I hope to answer your question. I gave you a lot of information. Let's keep rocking, because I was talking about things looking bad. Yeah, looking bad on the surface, but there actually being a lot of blessings underneath. And so I was talking about how the challenge my parents put forth to me, saying that they couldn't afford to send me to college, was a realistic conversation. I don't think a lot of students, I'm not sure, but I hope they are. A lot of parents and students are having that conversation now, especially now, about whether or not you can send your students to college. Please keep in mind, everyone, too, that the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, an opportunity for you to obtain free money from the government through the federal Pell Grant and other grants through the state, as long as you complete your FAFSA. They also offer loans. That opens on October 1st. So the FAFSA opens on October 1st. That's a way to get free money. You should be having a conversation or have had a conversation about whether or not you can afford to send your student to college now. Like, if you haven't had the conversation, you should have had it yesterday. And if you didn't have it yesterday, then you got to have it today or ASAP, because that conversation is pivotal. Now, parents putting forth the challenge and saying, hey, I can only put forth $10,000 this year. I can't put forth 10 cents. So I can't afford a dime to help you go to college. For a student, you're looking at a price tag that you probably have never looked at your life, that is 6 figures or more, and trying to figure out how you're going to get that money, because you don't want student loans. You don't want, if you have the same mindset as I did when I was a child, I said, if I got to go to college and take out student loans, well, guess who ain't going? Me. I'm not going to college to take out student loans. That just was my mindset. I refused to. There are a lot of things as to why that was my mindset. But the main thing was, I said, what's the point of me going to school to get a degree that doesn't have any guarantees for me to have debt? Once I get my degree and the piece of paper has my name, that doesn't come with a guarantee that I'll get a job. It shows that I'm certified to get a job, but a college can't guarantee that you'll get a job after college. And so I said, if it's up to me, if the ball is in my court, I will keep it in my court and make sure I get the best return on my investment possible by ensuring that I apply for these scholarships to hopefully graduate from college debt free. And so on the surface, my problem, my hurdle, my obstacle to get at least $100,000 to graduate from college debt free looked like it was going to defeat me. Looked like it was going to overtake me. Looked like I would lose. Same thing a lot of people are saying with COVID-19. What, I have never dealt with a pandemic before. What, I have never done school online before. I've never had to homeschool my child. I've never been quarantined before. What, I have just lost my job and I don't know where my next meal is coming from. Oh my gosh, should I send my child to school this year? What, I've never had to deal with that before. On the surface, all of these things look bad, and they are probably not the best. But if you take the time to take a step back and look at all the things that could come as a result of you looking at the solution and focusing on execution, I promise you, you're putting yourself in a better position. So what did I do? How did I flip the switch to see my problem as a blessing? And sometimes it wasn't seen as a blessing because it required a lot of hard work and sacrifice. It looked like a headache a lot of times. But when all was said and done and I had put in all the work, I saw blessing simply being defined as God's favor and protection. Having won more than $100,000 in scholarships in 5 months, that was nothing but God's favor. Being able to get up every morning at 5 a.m. and work until midnight for 5 months straight, I didn't take a day off, was nothing but God's protection, because I'm doing that on the weekends too. So you're not getting a lot of sleep. So what I'm saying is, when you see a problem, shift it to the solution. Shift your mind to the solution. Because if you keep putting, I'll say it this way. It's often said, humans are built and designed. So wherever we look, wherever our attention goes, that's exactly where our body goes as well. And so if I'm playing football and I'm supposed to run a route, and I don't even know football terms, so y'all can laugh at me if you want to, I don't care. If my coach tells me to run a zigzag, I don't know football. I'll tell you again. If my coach tells me to run a zigzag and I'm supposed to be cutting right first, but I'm looking left, I don't know I'm looking left, but my body's moving right. I have no idea what's going over here because it doesn't have my attention. It doesn't have my eyesight. I say all that to say, if your problem is here and your solution is here and you're supposed to be running toward the solution, but you're constantly looking at the problem, you're missing all the things you're supposed to gain and see while you're working toward the solution. Does that make sense, y'all? So with scholarships, the first thing I had to do was say, okay, this scholarship process, just like this college degree, doesn't have any guarantees. I can apply for as many scholarships as I want to, but no one can guarantee me that I will win one of them. No one can do that. But one thing no one can stop me from doing is being consistent and putting forth my best effort. No one can stop me from being consistent. In basketball, y'all know I love basketball. One thing we say, you play the way you practice. You can't determine how much time I spend practicing, but you may be able to limit how much time I get on the court. So I say all this, that to say I could have spent 7 years practicing for a 20-minute basketball game. Every minute I put into practice, it would have shown when it was time for me to play the game. Same thing with scholarships, same thing with life. I spent time making sure I consistently applied for 3 scholarships per week, whether it was my toughest week in life yet, which I had many of those moments throughout my entire college career and my 12th grade year of high school, or whether it was my easiest week. I made sure I applied for 3 scholarships each week and did it to the best of my ability, because you can't control my willingness to work toward the best solution. You can't control how much time I put in, how much effort I put in to beating the problem. That's your goal. Beat the problem, overcome the problem. And once you do that and you put in your work, you will see that there are a lot of blessings underneath, because one of the first things I learned in my scholarship process was how to manage my time and how to manage my money. I had 5 months to get $100,000. I beat that goal. Actually ended up getting $120,000, I think, at 5 months. And on top of that, I got some refund checks too. So imagine being 18, having a nice size refund check because you put in all this time working. Y'all forgive me, that's my air. I forgot to cut it off. Applying for these scholarships, and now you got money in the bank and you're trying to figure out at 18 how you're going to manage this money. So now I learned budgeting. I learned time management. I learned how to write. I learned how to pitch myself. I learned how to promote myself. I learned how to speak to people who are older than me and tell them why they should give me money for me to pursue my dreams. I learned the power of communication. I learned the power of reference letters and building relationships. I learned the power of networking. I learned the power of building a support team to help you apply for scholarships, help you get through life, whatever. There were so many blessings underneath the surface of my problem. Y'all get what I'm saying? I'm just saying, but if you focus on the problem, you're missing an opportunity to grow. Okay, that's all I have for y'all, to be honest. That's really all I had. I'm gonna take some questions, any thoughts, any comments, concerns y'all have. Whatever, you talking trash in my comment section. You talking trash in my comment section. Kendall talking about some still scuff you up in the bowling alley though. You ain't about it in bowling though. You ain't about it. You don't want to see me. I ain't touching no bowling ball right now in the middle of a pandemic, so you on your own. You on your own. Mom, I'm glad I can help. TTP Tag. What's up, Tajia? I'm glad I can help. Y'all check him out too if you haven't already. Tajia Lewis, check out what he's doing. He's coding. He's a Virginia Tech student. He built his own company. He has a sauce company. I'm here to brag on my friend. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. He does great work. A lot of great work. Yeah, Tajia Lewis. I'll type his name. And yeah, all respect. I feel you, Kendall. Tajia Lewis. And I gotta show love. Y'all can check out his page at TTP Tech. Okay, I got you. Tajir Lewis. I can check him out on Instagram at TTP Tech. He is a Virginia Tech student. He has his own sauce company. He does fantastic work. He has a crab sauce. Carol's crab sauce, right? Let me know if I'm wrong, Tajir. He also has, what's up, honey? He has a coding company. He's helping people learn how to code, helping teach students how to code. He has 2 apps on the App Store, I think Android and iOS. He taught himself how to code in one summer. He said, I'm right. I'm trying to tell you, y'all better check out my Instagram story when I actually get on Instagram, because I post about my friends sometimes. And they do some great things. All right. And so you can download his app. I'm using my phone. God's Manifestations is on, I think, Manifesting God. Tajia, put him in the comments because I forgot. I know University Link will help college students make sure they have the resources they need to be successful. That's available on the Apple Store, App Store, as well as the don't do that. He said she taught me. As well as the App Store and the Android Store, Google Play Store. And then his app to help you manifest your visions via God's Word is also on the App Store as well. All right. I love y'all. What's up? I hope all is well. Good to see you. I just love y'all. I'm glad I can be here. This week, my goal is for you to focus on the solution. Yes, manifest God's visions. Perfect. Focus on the solution. Don't focus on the problem. Because at the end of the day, all of us want a blessing. And a blessing is simply defined as God's favor and protection. If you put in the work, I'm going to give y'all a scripture. Faith without works is dead. First, you got to have the faith to believe it's going to happen. Believe that God can make it happen if it's in his will. Then put in the work. After that, you get favor. Point blank, period. I love you. I wouldn't have won the scholarships if it weren't for God. But I had the faith and I put in the work and I had to help the people, a lot of people, including my sister. So y'all have a good week. You can contact me. The link to contact me is in my link in my bio on Instagram. And it's also on the About page of my YouTube channel. I'm here to help. I'll see you all soon. Have a good week.